Hello, everybody. You are listening to the Minding Mind podcast, where we live life with ease, connection, and permission to just be. I'm your host, Evelyn LeVasseur, and today I'm going to chat with you a little bit about what it was like as a former fitness coach. I don't know if you know that, but I was a fitness coach for many years, and I helped women with physical transformation. We would work on meal plans, exercise plans. I did in-person personal training and group personal training classes at a gym. I even took on clients for extended amount of times. So at that time, I was really proud of myself because I felt like I was helping women find confidence. So listen, fitness coaching was fun stuff for me. I enjoyed the personal training because I also got in extra workouts with myself and I loved watching women get stronger. The meal planning I enjoyed because I have extensive knowledge about how food works and how it works in your body. And I'm also certified in fat loss, hormonal nutrition coaching. So, therefore, I have knowledge of how food impacts your hormones, how those hormones impacts your body's ability to burn fat, for example. So, I loved taking all of my knowledge and putting it into practice. Weekly or clients that got meal plans could work with me one of two ways. They would either purchase a meal plan that I just wrote out for them and they followed on their own. So that was like a one-time interaction. I found out about the things that they loved, put it all together for them, and they ate in phases. So it would be 4 weeks at a time of repeating the same types of meals for those 4 weeks, phase one, and then phase two would be 4 weeks of different types of meals with a different focus or goal. Some people wanted to do 12-week plans, which were actually kind of cool because you do 2 weeks of like a transition period. You're kind of setting your body up to prime for the goals of the meal plans. So it would go 2 weeks and then 4 weeks were different. The next 4 weeks were different. And then 2 weeks at the end were kind of like to really push the results along. And they could recycle those plans if they wanted to. I got a lot of great feedback at that time. And I really did feel good about watching these women transform and watching them build what I thought was confidence. At that time, my mindset was that fitness plus nutrition or nutrition plus exercise equaled confidence. Now, there were some hidden problems in that. The main problem is instead of actually building confidence in them, I was making them dependent on me. They relied on me for every choice that they had to make. I literally would get messages on Boxer. That's the app that works like a walkie-talkie. But I would get Boxer messages. I would get emails. I'm heading to the grocery store or I'm in the grocery store and I don't know what kind of peanut butter to buy. I don't know if I should use stevia or skip sugar altogether. I don't know if, this protein I think has too much sugar. Like I had all the knowledge about the things that worked. And because I gave them just the external thing, the meal plan, they now were completely dependent on me to make every choice for them. So, really, when I thought I was helping them build confidence, I was actually helping them build dependence and taking trust away from themselves. It's possible they didn't trust themselves to begin with. If you're like me, I did a lot of dieting in my younger years, and it was so easy to follow somebody else's rules about what I was supposed to do for my body because I trusted their expertise. I trusted them, but I didn't trust me. And I realized that through the work that I was doing, I was perpetuating the same shit, making them see that there is a possibility of transformation, but they needed me to do it. And the only reason that I was able to recognize their dependence is because I started to recognize mine, right? I was a healthy kid. I was a very active kid, athletic, and I got tons of accolades for my body, especially from women family members. They would say things to me like, if you want to get married someday and keep your husband, you better keep that figure. No man wants to stay married to a woman that lets herself go or gets fat or whatever the stupid comments they would make were. Or they would say things to me like, you're lucky that you have a small waist. You better not let that go. So that, as a kid, kind of messed up my head about what was valuable about me or what made me worthy or why was the way my body looked so important. And I'm telling you, this shit started probably 10, 11 years old. So when I went to college and I gained that freshman 15 or kind of freshman 20, I tried my first diet and I lost weight immediately. Immediately, of course, because I was 19 years old. And then when I stopped that diet, I put the weight back on, right? The way it happens. And I literally repeated that cycle for another 19 years. I did Atkins, I did Weight Watchers, I did keto, I did ridiculous diets like eating the boiled eggs or eating just broth or tons of celery or tons of onion, anything that I could to manipulate my food to change my body. But the part that I was missing was that my decisions for my food and my body came from a mind and a heart that didn't fully see, accept, or love herself, right? My mind that was full of disconnect and discontent and disgust for myself was what was making decisions for my body. And if I'm disconnected and distrustful of myself, how could I possibly make decisions for myself that are rooted in love or joy, right? That are rooted in wanting myself to thrive? I didn't even really fully understand what that meant. So the time that I figured out what was actually happening was when I was at a picnic. Now, if you know my story, becoming a mother was not easy for me. That's a whole other podcast episode, but becoming a mother was not easy for me. So when I did finally become a mother, I promised God that I would be an exceptional one. And I really raised my daughters to look at themselves with joy. I raised them to see that their heart was the most important thing about them and that, food nourishes us, but that we shouldn't be consumed by thoughts of it, right? I wanted them to know that everything that made them valuable had nothing to do with what they looked like. Now, the problem was I was doing that for them, teaching them to love themselves and see themselves fully and speak life into themselves. But I wasn't doing that for myself, right? How could I raise confident daughters from a place of insecurity? I'm sharing this because it was one specific day that I was at a picnic with my girls, and my oldest at the time was 10. And I had just served them their lunch. So they had been swimming, and swimming works up an appetite. So they come out, I give both of them like a burger, some salad, and corn because they love corn. And a woman at the picnic said to my 10-year-old, Girl, If you want to keep that figure, you better lay off them burgers. And listen, I felt immediate rage. I felt immediate rage because, damn it, I was so intentional about raising my daughters to believe in themselves, believe in their heart. And it was an outsider who put the thought of their body and their figure being relevant in their heads. I felt at that moment like I spent their whole lives trying to build them up, and somebody else could come in and just plant that shitty ass seed in their head. But something else important happened too. Once I got past the rage, right? Once I got past that rage, I realized that this woman did not intend to hurt my girls. She did not say this out of malice. She was literally just projecting how she feels about food and how she feels about her body when she eats those foods. I don't believe that people intentionally hurt others in that way, which led me to the realization that we ladies are part of the problem, right? We want our kids to believe that they have no limits, that they can do, be, feel anything that they want to. But then at the same time, subconsciously, we teach them to stick themselves in a box. We teach them to shrink themselves. We teach them to be confident, but not too much, have an opinion, but don't share it around the wrong people. Like, we teach them that they're amazing, but also that they have to maintain certain things about their physicality in order to be accepted, instead of teaching them that they can never fully receive outside acceptance if it didn't start with them first. They can never build confidence outside of themselves if they don't feel it first. They will never be able to recognize love fully from other people if they don't love themselves first. We couldn't teach them that because we didn't feel it for ourselves. I certainly did it. I was trying to lift my daughters up, hoping that they would never feel as low as I did, and not realizing that kids don't learn from your words, they learn by watching you live. My daughters watched me build them up and also watched me shrink myself. How confusing. How confusing. So it was that moment at that picnic that literally changed the trajectory of my coaching, the way I spoke to my daughters, the way I spoke to myself. I went into like this rabbit hole of self-development work. I started to ask myself questions like, where the hell did I learn this? Where did these thoughts come from? Like, when is the last time I ever even remember feeling good about myself? And what can I do to get back there? Right? My biggest focus had to be on knowing that whatever I heal inside me also alleviates my kids from carrying that pain. And that is my ultimate goal, to be the best me so that they don't have to carry my insecurities. That is not something I want to pass on to them. I had to learn, obviously, transformation that lasts starts inside. You cannot hate yourself thin. You can diet strictly and exercise intensely and create a smaller version of yourself. But that emptiness and that disconnect and that disgust that you feel when you look at yourself is going to travel with you. You will literally have created a smaller version of your unhappy self. And you know this is true if you're somebody who has looked at pictures of yourself in the past and said, damn, I thought I was heavy then. I wish I could be that small. right? Or you feel confident one day and then wake up the next day feeling like shit. That just tells you that it is not about your body. It's about the thoughts that you let control your experiences, right? And also, like, just to break the idea that confidence is built in the gym. So many people say that confidence is built in the gym or abs are built in the kitchen. I get what they're saying, right? I get that when you're lifting weights, you start to feel more confident. And it's true because I love to lift and I feel so badass. So badass, especially as I can progressively lift heavier and heavier. But that's only because the work I do in the gym, I do in conjunction with the work I do on myself. I'm not going to the gym because I have to look a certain way or because I have to shrink my body to be accepted by anybody around me. I'm going to the gym because I want to feel strong. I want to build up my bone density so that I'm not fragile when I'm older. I go to the gym because I want my heart to be strong, because I have a lot of life left to live and I want to live it fully. I don't want to just exist. I don't want to be older and frail and not able to function because I didn't take care of myself the way that I know I needed to and deserved to, right? So when people say confidence is built in the gym, I get it. Confidence is built in the gym when you're also building confidence in your mind and in your heart. It is about aligning with the woman you were created to be. It is about recognizing that all the shit you were taught about what you should look like and how you should be afraid to age and how you have to work to maintain people around you, how you have to dress to get people to look at you, right? How you have to make sure you keep certain aspects of yourself looking in certain ways so that society could still deem you valuable, right? All that shit is meant to keep you small because women who doubt themselves and question themselves and shrink themselves, they're easier to manipulate and they're easier to control. Women who heal past that, they stand in their power. They puff their chest a little bit more and they help other women do the same, right? So, yeah, people can say confidence is built in the gym, but I'll tell you right now, lifting weights will never like bypass the fact that confidence starts in your mind. So, what I learned obviously is that working with people in transforming their bodies was leaving out the most important part of transformation. And that transformation is in your heart and your mind. That transformation is about recognizing where you started thinking this way and how you can rewrite those stories. It's about reclaiming the identity of the human being you were born to be instead of the identity that the world gave you, the roles that you've lived and taken on with pride, but also that aren't even yours. I stopped fitness coaching altogether and I became an identity coach. The only reason that I can do that is because I live it, right? I am so deeply centered and grounded and connected to who God made me to be that nothing about my body or society's expectations can shift that. Nothing about anything that comes from outside of me can take me away from who I am. That's the work that I do now. That the work of helping you get back that body confidence you once had, helping you find health that is sustainable for life, helping you find you, helping you stop relying on other people to make you feel good, to make you feel wanted or accepted or loved or validated or worthy, helping you see you and love you so hard that everybody around you has no choice but to do the same, helping you become a magnet for the values and characteristics that you desire in other people. Your relationships are a mirror, right? So you want more from the people around you, then you need to feel more for you. You need to live more for you. You need to be the walking, breathing example of what it means to love you. When you do that, you will magnetize that from other people and you will repel the people who don't want that. And either one is okay because either way, you are cared for, you are grounded, you are divinely guided, and you know that anything that happens around you can't and won't break you. You're good. Before we close out today, I want to tell you about two quick offers. One, reclaim your energy. This is for the woman that is just completely exhausted all the time and can't quite figure out why. I'll tell you this, it is not about physical rest. Reclaim Your Energy is a 3-day audio series. You can listen anywhere or watch on YouTube. And I will link that in the notes. And also VIP Breakthrough Day. If you're somebody who has done every freaking diet, you have tried like hell to change your body and keep coming back to the same issues over and over and over again. If this episode, the things that I talked about in this episode resonate with you, then a VIP day could be for you. We will figure out what it is that you're stuck with, where that started from, and literally craft a plan that you can sustain for the rest of your life with ease. I am not talking about dieting. We don't do that shit. I'm not talking about intense exercise that you can't maintain. We don't do that shit either. I'm talking about creating things, systems in your life, strategy, beliefs, thoughts in your life that support you, that help you feel the things that you want to feel, possibly for the first time in your life. If that's you, go into the show notes, click those links, find out more about it. And in the meantime, I want to thank you all for joining me for another episode of Minding Mine. If this episode resonated with you, please comment, rate, and review the podcast. You know that your feedback means the world to me and it helps me grow. And until next time, I want you to go live your life on your terms and please mind your business. See you next time.